Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on DC TV and Crisis on Infinite Earths because we got a new trailer. So I'm not going to make you wait any longer. Let's watch that trailer.
Here, we find a way to get everyone that we lost back.
All life's earnings. My entire life prepared me for this fight.
You ready?
I stay ready.
Let's do this.
We're in the fight of our lives here.
We will not fail this world. Not today. Not ever.
Crisis on Infinite Earths. The CW's cross.
And yes, I know, like, wow, it was some of the stuff in there was very cool, but also it wasn't the best quality. It was arguably, you could say, it was rivaling a potato, but honestly, it's good enough to give us some Crisis stuff to go over. I'd heard people were saying that there was a new trailer on TV over the past day or so, maybe 2 days, give or take, but no one had recorded it, and then luckily when it showed up, someone was able to record it in not the best quality, as I said before, but at least we could, you can still see some stuff in there, so it's good enough to go over. Now, some people saying it's a leaked trailer. It's not a leaked trailer, it was on TV, so it wasn't leaked. So if anyone's saying it's leaked, pull it out of their ass. But anyway, talking about pulling stuff out of your ass, Merry Christmas, everyone. That's the weirdest segue ever, and it doesn't make sense at all. But this will go up on Christmas Day in Australia, at least. I'm recording this on Christmas Eve, just before I go to bed. So yeah, Merry Christmas to all, and happy holidays if you don't celebrate that. But before we go over the breakdown of the trailer, we will quickly go over the synopsis or description that was released for Part 4. The day before, I guess you're watching this video. Now, they did release one for Part 5. It didn't have anything in there, really. So we'll just go over the Part 4 one. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know all of your opinions in the comment section down below. What from this trailer gets you excited? And of course, if this got you excited and you're going to enjoy the video as well, why not drop a like on the video to show support and hype and excitement? Stuck in the vanishing point, the Paragons search for a way to escape. The futility of the situation is compounded by the Flash's disappearance. However, hope appears in the form of Oliver, who reveals that he has become something else. Meanwhile, the origin stories for the Monitor and the Anti-Monitor are revealed. But anyway, yeah, we start off the trailer by being in the vanishing point. This is where we left the Paragons, so it makes sense we'd pick up, well, where we left off with the Paragons. Now, we do hear Kara say, we're going to find a way to bring everyone we lost back. Now, obviously, this will most likely have something to do with the, them looking for a way to escape the vanishing point, which will then segue into them trying to find a way in which to bring everyone back. Now, it will be interesting to see, like, how this comes to be, like whether Oliver shows up and tells them how to do it, or whether maybe like the brains behind them, the brains within the Paragons, such as Lex Luthor and Ryan Choi, are the ones saying how they could possibly do something. I'm intrigued to see if it makes sense, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, we do hear the Monitor, I think it's the Monitor, say all life something. Like, he says all life, and then I really couldn't make out the rest of it just because of the quality of the trailer. He is possibly talking about the dawn of time, and that's where all life began from, or something like that. This could be the Anti-Monitor, but even though they do sound the same, or like similar, sorry, because they're played by the same actor, they do use like a different voice effect, and it sounded like the Monitor to me, but it could be the Anti-Monitor, who knows. But the big battle that we will see happen in this trailer is the battle at the dawn of time, so it makes sense that maybe he's referring to the dawn of time, and that's where all life was, stemmed from and everything like that. But yeah, the Monitor's obviously going to be in this episode because they're doing the origin stories, but it will be interesting to see if maybe they bring him back in another way, which we will go over later in the trailer as well. Now, we do see Supergirl carrying, I think it's just the cape here, which is obviously a bit of a reference to her death scene in Crisis in the comics. I don't think it's the Kingdom Come cape, is it? Because didn't he just disappear completely, or was the cape left on the ground as well? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head what happened there. I thought it was just his whole body disappeared and then Lex Luthor just took his place. Maybe the cape was left behind. I don't know, but obviously this is a bit of a reference to that death scene in the comics. Now, we do see Barry getting knocked back like we saw in the first trailer for these, final two parts, when, just after the first couple of parts aired. Now, this is in the Speed Force, as we now know. Obviously, we know Reverse Flash is coming back into all of this stuff as well. It's going to be interesting to see, like, how he disappears. Does, like, Reverse Flash appear, he runs after him, and then he just disappears, and, no one knows where he went? Or is he taken there by Oliver to do something specific? I'm intrigued to see, like, how does Barry disappear? Does he just vanish off just randomly? Just like, poof, oh, he's gone. Or does he get, like, led away or just taken away by someone in particular? I'm intrigued because, yeah, I'm just intrigued. Now, it does seem that the Paragons, or at least Lex Luthor, and maybe Ryan Choi are building a device of some sorts. Maybe it's a device to get them from the Vanishing Point to the Dawn of Time to take on the Anti-Monitor. I think that's probably what the case is. Maybe in like a way in which to like maybe power it. That's maybe how Barry disappears. Maybe he tries to power it and he gets like vanished away or something like that, or sucked away into the Speed Force. Could be something like that. Maybe that's how he disappears. Because it seems that like they're building it and then he disappears. If we're basing it off like how the synopsis, rolls along, it seems that like Barry disappears once they start, building this device, if you want to call it. So maybe that's how Barry goes. Maybe he's trying to power it or something like that, and then something goes wrong and he disappears. I don't know, but it seems that they're building a device and it's probably some sort of like time travel teleporter thing, something along those lines. Maybe Oliver helps him out, who knows. But speaking of Oliver Queen, we hear him say, "My entire life prepared me for this fight." Now, along with this, we sort of see him have this like, it seems like it's sort of like a flashback or something like that, with him beating down on someone. Now, it is hard to tell who it is 100% who he is beating down. It could be Tommy Mellon, like the hair sort of looks like it could be Tommy Mellon. But then again, it could also be Barry Allen. It is hard to be 100% sure exactly who he is wailing on here. There's also like a scene of him like opening his eyes and stuff. I am intrigued to see how they do Oliver in this episode, because there was some pretty heavy criticism on how they handled the Spectre stuff in the third part. How like they're on the island, this like Jim Corrigan, the Spectre, shows up for 2 seconds and then just walks away, and it just seems that like in this episode he's just going to become Spectre. Hopefully in this episode they actually give, even if it's just 5 minutes to Oliver showing him become Spectre, that would be worth it. I think they need to make up for part 3, because even though I was like, why'd that go so quickly? It felt like it was like a deleted scene or two there. So they need to make up for that, I think, in this part. And hopefully they do, because I think it'd be weird if Oliver just becomes Spectre without us actually like seeing any form of like, well, transformation, if you want to call it. So hopefully we get that. But in regards to these flashbacks, I am intrigued to see what all this means. Maybe this is like a final test for Oliver or something, but it seems that he is Spectre like at least before halfway through the episode, just to, move things along with other characters. So yeah, they probably want to do this early, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, we do get an action shot, if you want to call it, or like a zoom-in shot of the Paragons at the Dawn of Time. Now, obviously, this is one of the shots that we got in, I think, the first promo that was released for Crisis, like, I guess almost 2 months ago. It's not even just over a month. I think it's closer to 2 months than 1 month. So about 2 months ago, we got that first promo with this zooming in. Obviously, no one came back to pick up on this, that these were the Paragons. Like, literally no one did. I saw no one mention it. And then when they finally revealed at the end of the episode, I was like, oh, those were the 7 that were lined up in that, that initial first shot. So if only we knew. If only we knew. Now, there's been people wondering about, like, how does Ryan Choi in particular have a major effect on this fight, because it's just Ryan Choi. So I'm guessing maybe when they were in the Vanishing Point, maybe he was able to develop some tech that might be able to help him, or maybe he's given some tech that allows him to be maybe the Atom or something like that. For those that don't know, that they've been in the Vanishing Point for a month. That's why Ryan Choi has the beard. So is that long enough to develop something to fight, the Anti-Monitor and some Shadow Demons with? Maybe. But we do see Killer Frost, Heatwave, and Black Lightning in Star Labs. Now, we do see Black Lightning hit a Shadow Demon later in the trailer as well. I guess the big question here is whether they're going to make it that Black Lightning has existed on this Earth the entire time. I'm intrigued to see what they do here. And also, it's important to remember, Heatwave that we had in Crisis was Heatwave from Earth 74. So this will most likely be this Earth's Heatwave. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they handle a lot of the things when all the people come back, if you know what I mean. So yeah, let's do this. That's said by Kara, and then this is obviously kicking off the fight against the Anti-Monitor and most likely some Shadow Demons. But hold on, who is that behind Kara? Oh damn, that is Oliver Queen as the Spectre. That's our first look at Oliver as the Spectre. Oliver has reached his final form. It's not the best look, but you get to see a decent amount of his cloak, if you want to call it. It almost looks like it's like a mixture of maybe his season, like his new suit for this season, maybe with like a bigger hood, and it's gonna have like a cloak that goes down most likely. Gonna have to wait till we get a better look at it, but I think just from that, like that, him in the background, I think it looks pretty cool. And obviously, I think, as I said before, I think it's fairly fitting that Oliver does become the Spectre in the Arrowverse. Now, there is a shot of the monitor without the mutton chops and what looks like to be Supergirl doing a flip in the background. What's going on here? Well, we are meant to get the origin of the, the monitor and anti-monitor in part 4, as the synopsis does say, so maybe this has something to do with that. But then why would Supergirl be there unless it has to tie into like the Dawn of Time or something like that? But also, they might introduce multiple monitors, like in the comics, so maybe once certain things are done, say like, and they're maybe able to restore something that was destroyed when the multiverse was destroyed, maybe another monitor or maybe multiple monitors show up that are from that new existence, if you want to call it. I don't know necessarily what they're going to do exactly, but that is Supergirl in the background with a monitor without mutton chops, so I don't know. I'm intrigued. And the final shot of the trailer is the shot of some heroes in the finale battle, if you want to call it, in part 5, the final episode, with what should be a weaker anti-monitor. So with like, if they do the stuff where they sort of reverse what he did to the multiverse, or at least take some of the antimatter away, or at least, what it did, it should make him weaker. So this should be a weaker anti-monitor where these heroes should be able to fight him fairly easily without any, without too much risk. We do see some Paragons there as well as Dreamer, so this lets you know that this isn't, any sort of Dawn of Time or, Vanishing Point battle. But yeah, I'm not expecting too much from this finale battle, to be completely honest. I think the Dawn of Time fight is the one to keep your eyes out on and get, excited about. But yeah. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like and it shows support. Let me know, your various opinions in the comment section down below. What from this trailer caught your eye? Do you have any theories coming from it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And of course, if you are new to the trailer, if you are new to the channel, would be awesome if you could subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.